your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
Welcome back to Talk and Power, episode number 234. I am your host, Michelle Morrison, and joining me as always is Simon Gonzo Travellini and Nick DeCimbre.
Hey Michelle, how are you?
Michelle?
Very well, thank you. It's been 4 weeks since we've been together in the podcast studio recording. But Nick, you were at the Northern Steel car show.
Yeah, last weekend, or the weekend before actually. Yeah, before the weekend before Easter. Yeah, it was great. Good weekend.
Fantastic.
Good Sunday out at the Northern Steel show. Yeah.
How was your Easter, Michelle?
It was pretty quiet actually, but you know, I've probably said the same thing at Christmas time. My family events always stretch out across a few weeks with FIFO family members, so it was a pretty quiet and chilled one for us for the long weekend. But then I've got my family get together on Saturday, so more chocolate still to come.
More chocolate
Stuff.
What about yours, mate?
I was all right. Yeah, no, I had to cash in on my grand final tickets that I'd purchased the week before.
Wow.
We went out and got, being Eagles members, went out and got grand final tickets. Well, 2 wins.
No, you did not.
Yeah, and I said, "We're home. That's it. Book the grand final tickets." So then after Saturday's loss to Sydney, I cashed them in.
Cashed them in.
I didn't get grand final tickets, but it's a joke going around.
Yes, yeah. I thought surely.
I'm not sure where we were, but I heard someone say the score, 160 to 130, and I thought he was joking. And then I watched the highlights, and he wasn't joking.
No, there was no highlights.
But there was a
Plenty for
terrible.
Sydney.
Wasn't there a terrible NRL game as well, where the score was 0?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, one team was 0 to 30 or something.
Oh dear.
So that's not as bad.
And congratulations to the Sydney Kings as well, taking out the NBL championship this year.
Oh wow, you
winning
really are across it all.
Taking it to game 5.
Did they pinch any players from us?
No, they didn't, but the 36ers did. Oh, they didn't really pinch Bryce
Was it
Cotton.
Bryce Cotton?
Yeah,
That was
he left. They didn't
Like, is that how basketball? You have one good player and you just pass him the ball. Is that how it works?
Bryce
there's
Cotton's
only
a perfect
only
example.
5 on the court at the one time, so if you put it down to a percentage rate, it's not too bad.
That's 20%, yeah, I guess.
So, yeah. Oh, congratulations to all the Sydney Kings supporters. How about yourself? How was Albany?
You know what? We brought Perth weather to Albany. I was horrified. It was 26 degrees down there.
What?
Yeah,
Lovely.
I know.
That's great.
No, I wanted it to be
In
cold
Albany.
and drizzly.
Oh,
That's
but
why
there's
you
such
go
beautiful
there.
beaches down there.
It's like when you go past Mount Barker, the weather actually changes. It's like it could be like 37, and then as you drive through Mount Barker, 22, 21,
Just as you step
19,
across.
18.
We had, I know because we experienced exactly what he said. We had one day of Albany weather where it was, I don't know if I know you're familiar with it. I don't know if you're familiar with the Albany weather. Proper Albany weather is it's like fog.
Yeah.
It's not fog, it's just wet like fog. You know what I mean? It's this weird drizzle.
We went a few days after I think it was 35 degrees, late November for our wedding day.
Yep.
And we did a coastal drive for a little honeymoon getaway afterwards. And Albany, it was like fog. Like it just had that eerie kind of winter feel to it.
Beautiful. I love it.
In November.
Yeah.
But the beaches are so beautiful. Like the coastline's so nice, and even a bit further up at that Elephant Rocks, that spot there, like that's just picturesque and too cold to swim.
We did the whaling museum, because we've got the kids. We did the whaling museum, the wildlife park, the blowhole, which wasn't blowing. That's a long walk now. I don't remember that being that long a walk. That was a ridiculously long. They need to move that car park. We did the
I
Gap,
was going to make a joke, but
which was closed. I won't go into why, but they closed it. But we were lucky enough on the last day. I said to Nicole, let's just go past there and see if it's open. So we did the Gap, the bridge, the Whaling Museum, and then we went to the Anzac. Have you guys been to the Anzac? They have rebuilt that.
That's awesome.
It is crazy. It is.
Yeah.
It's like this massive interactive. So when you walk in, you get this thing that you can like listen to the different stories, and they give you a soldier's card, and you can follow his life history from when he's enlisted right the way through. And it was just really respectful, really like my two kids, you know, they're a handful, and they were being really, really good. And I was really disappointed because they had this infinity pool with all the soldiers' names that were lost. And there were two kids in there that were splashing the water everywhere. And there's like pensioners walking around. The floor's not exactly, you know, like wet floor's not. Anyway, I saw the mum go and I thought, oh, she's going to, you know, tell them off.
Yeah.
And she did nothing.
When it's a memorial fountain, it's not in good taste, is it?
But yeah, that new building, incredible. And the restaurant there, oh my God, to die for. It was incredible. The food.
I didn't eat up there.
That place is like, you know, I'm a bit of a foodie. And I don't mind spending the money when the food's good.
Spending the money.
Oh, mate, that I can't remember what it was called. It'll come to me. But anyway, it was unbelievable. It was like incredible food, absolutely incredible. So we had a great meal there. What else did we do while we were down there? Went and checked out some beaches. Went to the lookout. Went to the Anzac lookout. They've redone that as well. They got this, you know, that in the last 20 years, 30 years, they've really.
Yeah, they've come leaps and bounds. I've gone to Albany on and off over the last 20 years, and every time I go there, something's better, something's improved.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a beautiful part.
Nicole couldn't believe that where the Gap is, you used to just walk out onto the rock.
You know, as a kid, I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, people would walk out there.
Yeah.
And that was perfectly normal.
And the bridge.
Yeah,
Same with the bridge. You just walk out there.
It was perfectly normal to walk out there.
She was horrified by it.
And now is it all barricaded?
No, you can still do it, but there's an actual walkway.
Crossing part.
You know, with safety rails,
Right.
and you can hang out over the Gap. Before, we used to just walk up to the edge and go, wow, that's crazy.
Imagine if someone pushed me right now.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
it sounds like a trip to Albany should be on the cards for us then, Nick.
I highly recommend it, and we stayed at the Hilton. Incredible. The restaurant across the road from them, South something.
Down. Is it down south?
Something like that.
It's out on the pier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have eaten there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great restaurant, but you know what? There's a tiny coffee shop there. So you've got the Hilton there, you've got that place, and the bottle shop celebrations, and the entertainment centre.
That's right.
There's an old, really nondescript kind of, you know, and you can book your whaling tours and stuff. This little coffee shop. The coffee was incredible.
Really?
Like, I am so fussy when it comes to my coffee, and it was perfect. And they had all handmade patisseries, and it was just awesome.
Did you consider the whale tours?
Wrong time of the year.
Oh, I thought that there was orcas at this time.
You know what? There's like, I don't know what they call a school of them, but they found this massive school of them not far from, I can't remember if it was Esperance or it wasn't far away, but there was no tours running.
Right.
We've done the ones in
Augusta?
Exmouth.
Oh.
Yeah. And we were lucky, you know, the guy says to you when you get on the boat, might get lucky, might not.
Yeah, that's it. It's a risk. It's an expensive risk. I was looking at the orca ones.
Yeah.
Because in the Christmas school holidays, we did the Free Willy.
Oh, Free Willy, yeah.
Yeah, the girls got right into
Back
it.
to back.
It was over a span of a week.
Oh, that's all right.
But the Luna learned how to curl her tongue, and so that led to the Free Willy movie marathon.
The thing with holidaying here, as opposed to going on a cruise or going overseas, and this was a long time. It was like 10 years ago. I did the maths, and you go to somewhere like Exmouth, and Exmouth is beautiful. I love that place. It's great. People are awesome. Just great. It's like $1,000 a day, whereas you go on a cruise and it's like $100 a day.
Yeah.
And then you go, I don't know what it's like now, but it used to be like go to Bali and it's that sort of, $50 a day, or you know what I mean? Like it just, but like that restaurant in Albany, I had no issues paying that bill and giving him a tip because the food was just incredible. And then you go to like I've been to other restaurants where they're still charging you that much, but the food's crap, Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it was good. It was good.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, let's get into some motorsport news. It was a week off for the NASCAR Cup Series last weekend, with only O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the Craftsman Truck Series from Rockhampton, North Carolina. William Salowich won his first career NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Rockingham
Yep.
Speedway in a Joe Gibbs Racing Supra. Sawalich dominated the final laps, leading a top 3 finish of Brandon Jones in the other Joe Gibbs Racing Supra and Austin Allgaier in a Junior Motorsports Camaro. The trucks were wild and loose, with Corey Haim in the Tricon Garage Toyota Tundra taking the win. Caden Honeycutt, the second, Tricon Garage Toyota Tundra, placing second, and Lane Riggs in Ford Row Motorsports Ford F-150 in third place. The carnage was wild at the Bathurst 6 Hour. In the end, it was a Class X car of Thomas Randall, Ben Cavich and Michael Cavich in the BMW M2 taking the win outright. In second outright was the Class A2 car of Keith Kasulk and Cameron McLeod in the Ford Mustang Mach-1, and third outright was another Class A2 car of Chris Lillies and Josh Muggleton and Zach Bates in the Chevrolet Camaro 2SS. It was interesting to note that there was 3 A2 class cars in the top 5.
Did any of you guys see the Grant Denyer crash?
I didn't. No, I saw the headlines that he was hospitalised.
Yeah, so interesting that one. As I said to you before, I'm still kind of curious as to how he hasn't been pinged for passing under double yellow flags there, because he was a double yellow flag corner and he passed and caused that accident. And the other question I have for anyone that's listening, why wasn't the safety car out? Because there was a parked car on the side of the track. That's why there was double yellows there.
Were they in the process of getting it out?
Well, they hadn't, so they should call the safety car. There's a parked car on the side of the track, and then Grant's gone to pass their Volkswagen Sirocco and sent him selling to this parked car and destroyed his own car, or the Camaro as well.
What about so there was no flags, was it?
Yeah, double yellow flag.
Yeah, double yellow.
But coming around a blind spot, how did he
It was double
not
yellows.
know that it was
Well,
going to
he
be
did.
there?
Well, he did know.
He did know,
That's my point.
One thing about Grant, he doesn't crash often, but when he does it spectacularly.
I wasn't particularly fond of him, like, sort of joking and carrying on, because the guy in the Sirocco was, like, hospitalised pretty badly, a lot worse than Grant was.
That's the one that he hit.
Yeah.
The one that had already...
No, he was racing.
Oh.
So he's sent him into the parked car, and he's
is
like, I think
that
he's
what
still in
happened?
hospital, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, vertebrae injuries, and yeah. I don't know, just the whole thing doesn't sit right with me, and I still can't understand why he was passing under double yellow flags. But anyway, that's for other people to sort out, not me.
So there was another piece of news that got released in the last couple of days. I think it's been brewing for a while, but now it's official. Kelvin Lyle and Matt Abel have teamed up to race under the Kelvin Lyle Racing banner. Apparently there's a new Mustang being built, and Matt Abel is in the US at the moment taking delivery of several Noonan engines. I think three engines or 4 engines.
Fabulous.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting to watch those guys. I believe that they're racing in the US first before they bring it. I think they're running it at Snowbirds, maybe.
Snowbird's not for a while, I don't think. It's not for a
Don't know.
Yeah.
Is there another one coming up?
No, because most of... The next one would be Not to October, I would have thought.
I don't know. Someone sent me a press release. Maybe I should read it before I report on
Yeah.
it. But
I have heard a bit of this, and I believe that the racing in the States is true.
when is it?
But
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when. But
It's an NHRA event, is it?
no, I think maybe if you've got the press release.
What's an
Maybe you
IHRA
should-
event?
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
No, it's nothing to do. It's nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I just was part of general conversation that mentioned. But I just want to be mindful and respectful of information that's yet to be released.
No, fair enough.
But it is exciting to
Yeah.
see that car, or another car.
Well, while
still built.
Simon's looking for the press release, the other interesting, the fuel crisis. Like, it may have alleviated. Like, we're recording this on a Wednesday.
Snowbird Nationals.
No, it is
Yeah,
coming
in
up, isn't it?
Florida, 2027.
Yeah, that's next year.
That's
Oh,
next
sorry.
year.
3 brand new billet Noonans on route to a promising debut at the Snowbird Nationals in Florida, preceding the 2027 Top Doorslammer Championship season.
So before returning for
Yeah.
our 2027.
So they're going to
And
run it
that's-
there.
But Snowbird's normally at the end of the year.
Well, but keeping in mind that NDRC is a calendar year now,
Yeah.
so they'd be speaking of doing testing in the States before our next NDRC season
Yeah.
starts, which would be
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's obviously coming back
maybe
in between.
would see whether our Winter Nationals is the opening event for the NDRC calendar next year.
Oh, Matt
Bit unknown.
probably is going to make a few trips.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, he buys and sells a lot of parts. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be great because you know Matt and his son have always had great potential, but you need money as well. And Kelvin's got that, so it should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's great to be supporting them.
Good on him.
So
Yeah,
how
working
did you
together with
go
it.
at the Riverbend Nationals? Tell us all about it.
Where do I start? I mean, such an amazing opportunity in itself. So yes, I guess we didn't mention it last recording. I don't think I
No,
because
because
it was before.
Yeah, you weren't.
It was before the Northern Steel. So once returning from Mildura, I obviously reached out thanking for that opportunity. The event was rained out and said that I'd love to have the chance again. I got asked to come back on board the NDRC media team for the Riverbend Nationals at Dragway at the Bend, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The Bend Motorsport Park in itself is just unreal. I was staying at the Ridges, and the hotel lobby is a show car. It's a showroom, and it's a showroom, and then you've got your circuit track right outside the windows. Not 200
Oh, so
meters,
what, the
not 500
hotel-
meters.
Yeah, it's on site.
yeah.
It's wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like there. You open the door and the fence line's there. It's
Oh,
unreal.
Wow,
It's absolutely
that's awesome.
unreal.
Mm.
And then all the cars that they've got in the hotel lobby as they're
So
on
they
display.
must own the hotel.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, rightio. Okay.
Yeah. So you know, just the experience of
Kwinana
staying
could do
there.
with a new hotel.
They really could. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever stayed in Kwinana, but there's not really any nice places to stay.
Isn't there?
Nah.
Surely there's a nice.
I mean, there's not
Big
a
Four
place
caravan park.
right there,
Big Four.
walking distance, like it was for the Ridges. But my first time at the Bend and at
The overflow
the
car
dragway at the
park, we
Bend.
could build one there.
Look, there's plenty of space.
There's
I'm
plenty of
sure.
space, that's right.
Build it and they will come. But yeah, my first time at the drag strip, dragway at the Bend as well. I'd previously raced at the Adelaide International, but to be there for the Riverbend Nationals, it was fantastic. Doing the deep end reporting for my first time, it was a huge learning experience in itself. It's trying to find that balance between getting a detailed question, then for a elaborate answer. I'm always so passionate about educating the fans. And I also, like, there is a part of me that wants to show my understanding of it all as well for viewers that don't know my association with my own racing.
No, you're unique in that there is probably a dozen women globally that have the knowledge that you do and can do what you do in front of the camera and understand the mechanics of it, because you've been racing for so long, you've worked on your own cars, you put them together. There's plenty of female drag racers out there, but I don't think there's many that would have that depth of knowledge and be able to conduct themselves in a media role.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I just feel so fortunate to be given the opportunity to even give it a go. And because, you know, the NDRC, they were familiar with my work with you guys on the podcast, but being in that live environment, I don't think I've ever been in a situation that was such high pressure cooker because you're trying to get those questions and answers back, but there is really strict time constraints with then the next pass coming down. And when I was in Mildura, it was something that I was speaking of before the event started, saying that was my concern, that was going in my head, making sure that I'm quick with my questions to get the answer, but still make it interesting and educational, and to be able to really pull that story as well. But the top fuelers, the second pairing won't fire up until the last ones are off the track and things like that. When we're talking Pro Mod, Doorslammer, Top Alcohol, Top Fuel motorcycles, they come around really fast.
Yeah.
But there was also the issue, or more so just something that we had to work around and consider, is that the braking area for drag away at the bend is a lot longer. I'm not sure the exact length, but of course usually we have the quarter mile racetrack and then a quarter mile of the braking area. If it's a half track racetrack, then you've got your half track braking area. So either 400 metres for your quarter mile, 200 metres for your eighth mile. So it's hard to gauge and estimate, but a lot of cars were, the engines are off and they're actually not being able to completely roll around.
I noticed that. It was quite noticeable.
Yeah. And so by the time we actually then were able to get them out of the car and camera in front, the next cars are coming down, and we've had a bit of time restrictions on that front as well. But
you kind of have to stagger them then and be doing the interview for the one before and then have one in waiting or the other, because they've got to cross back to them to,
so the broadcast was live, but there was I did a lot of interviews that were cut separately.
Yep. And,
whether they make their way into some production somewhere and get used.
So what about the results?
The results. Let's go through the results then. So the results for Top Fuel, the winner was Phil Lamentina, and in second place it was our local Carl Putland.
Now, I saw Rory today.
Yes.
And he told me that the lap before, so the first lap, Kyle got out a bit further than everyone else, and that put him in a really good spot.
Yes.
Then on the next lap, he went to pedal it, but he didn't get it wide open on the hit, and the motor went lean, and it there was a fair bit of carnage.
Yes.
So when they changed the motors, they changed the throttle cable as well because it got the blower off, etc., etc. So it's a bit of a safety thing. And what you need to do when you change the throttle cable is you need to reset the throttle stop, not the burnout throttle stop, the stop where when you smash your foot on, because those top fuel drivers literally kick that pedal like they smash it, and it hits a stop on the pedal, and you need it to hit that stop at exactly the same time as the butterfly is wide open.
Yeah.
So he thinks that and there's no way of proving this now because the throttle cable snapped.
Yeah.
But he thinks that possibly they didn't have that set perfectly, and then what happens is the cable does this right where the little clip ball and swivel assembly, like it's a quick release setup. It just does that and snaps the cable, and unfortunately that's what happened in the final. Because he said, you know me, I don't say things out of school, but I'm confident we would have gone down the track.
Yeah.
And of course Lamentinas blew up on that run, didn't they? In the final, I think they did.
I missed their final.
You know, it was actually difficult for me to see too much.
Yeah, because of where you were. Yeah.
From where I was, but
Yeah.
I did watch the run from there, and all of my focus was on Kyle. To be
So
honest,
yeah,
trying to
Kyle
break
was
capital.
stoked that he made
He
the
was
A
stoked.
final.
That was his first A final. His first
absolutely.
top fuel Christmas tree.
But you've worked with Rory. Rory was like, yeah, but we should have won it.
Yeah, it was really hard because when I saw Kyle, I just was like, oh, like hands up, bit of a shrug, but like a smile. And he's like, and he said to me, it's the throttle cable. And I was like, oh, like after all that, seeing the engine swap that they did, and it was really strange because Chad and I went for a walk through the pits before the last Group 1 finals, and I said to Kira, Carl's wife, I was like, everyone's very calm. I was like, there's a lot happening. I was like, but everyone's really calm. It's usually you go into the pits and it's mayhem and fast and everyone running everywhere, and it seemed so structured and organized, and I don't think I had watched too closely how Kyle's team works under pressure like that.
They're usually trying to find the vice grips. the one pair of vice grips that they've got.
But I think it goes to show how well the team works together, and it's just a shame it was such a small.
They have come in leaps and bounds, and I think that they're only a meeting away from getting a win.
And for that top fuel results, I said it in my little. Actually, it was in my premonitions of what I would have hoped to see for the event, but of course I was really barricading for Kyle, and always hope and wish for him to have success, because really, we've got a friendship from racing together in modified, but it's for me, and maybe you guys have been able to witness and experience really seeing someone's career progress and develop and see how hard they've worked for something, and being able to really watch that from the very beginning.
He's really the next Anthony Begley.
Yeah.
Because Anthony started off in Super Street racing with all of us, and progressed. Got a blown car and then got a funny car, and
I said that that Kyle works so hard, his family works so hard. I know that all of these top fuel teams work really hard, but to be able to really witness it from the very beginning, for my case with Kyle, it's really It's really cool to see, and I don't think, that really is the first and most extreme progression lengths that you can go for drag racing, and that I would be witnessing, I'm sure. And then for Phil Lamontina to take the win after all of the effort that was put into Mildura, which was unfortunately unsuccessful. I was just really happy to see them both come through with the win for that, because it's a little bit of, I think it kind of champions their efforts from Mildura
100%.
as well.
Good to see Market Gardener's going well. Carrot grows.
You're going to sell some more tractors.
I hope so.
For Nitro Funny Car, Josh Lee took the win over runner-up Morris McMillan. And in Top Alcohol, it was Daniel Reid who won over 002 Red Shane
I know. I
Phillips.
saw that race and I was devastated
heartbreaking.
for Shane.
Heartbreaking.
He took it really well, but
He
was
did.
very-
He did.
he really carried himself well in there.
He always does. He
Yeah.
always does.
Great
I
kid.
feel.
Great kid.
But yeah, he did have the quicker time, which makes it
Oh, it's
painful.
yeah.
But
it
I'm
was-
glad.
it
I'm not
was
sure whether he
hard
saw
viewing.
the red or whether he saw the timing boards show that the win was automatically to Daniel. But I'm really glad that he went through and did the full pass in itself anyway, and didn't come off straight away.
The standout in that class, from what I heard from other races that were, focusing on alcohol, was Surly, Andrew Searle.
Oh,
Andrew
okay.
Searle?
Yeah.
Apparently, he only got he tossed the belt twice, and then went like a 540 or something.
That's right. He did too. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was for qualifying. Group 1 qualifying was cancelled because of the rain. Sportsman qualifying
gotcha.
was completed. So Group 1 went straight into their rounds on Sunday morning, and without many big cars, only Pro Mod made it down the track on Saturday night. But, there's some Supercharge Outlaws as well that are laying down some decent rubber, but not many. For the Group 1 cars to go out on Sunday morning on a track that hadn't had many big passes on there.
I was wondering whether you were going to talk about this or not, so I didn't want to say anything.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm trying to, get the story across for it all. The morning racing was actually delayed because of fog.
Yep.
So the fog was really heavy in the area.
It's notorious for fog, that area,
Is
but
it?
isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure
You
Murray
know, I
Bridge
think-
around there.
I think we got to remember it's daylight savings as well.
It was just coming
And
to the
so-
end. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
to say, okay, it's 10 o'clock. Well, no, it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
that's
that.
right. Yeah.
But then cold in the morning when
Yeah.
the sun came out, it was really out, and there was a vast difference between all of their rounds.
Yeah.
It would have been to not have any data on Saturday, but then struggle to get down with a lot of the cars struggled in the first round in itself. And I think it was Morris McMillan himself said, "Oh, we just got to just closing our eyes and throwing a dart at a dartboard to try and pick our tune-ups."
There was apparently, I don't know who it was, and even if I did, I wouldn't say their name, but apparently someone was on live TV and was saying, well, I've come out to have a look at the start line because we've got to try and navigate our way around all the ball patches, which I don't think was the best advertising for the track prep. So,
Oh, look, they were the track team. They were out there working on it. I think just trying to keep.
but if
on
you
top
can't
of the
get laps, you
changes,
can't get
and
laps.
Yeah,
you got to
Yeah.
get laps. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
And so, and then once you kind of have something to work with, but then the weather conditions just change completely
Yeah.
on you. It's like, well, okay, hang on a second, this has changed the game again. But yeah, it made it for a really, really interesting day of racing. In Top Doorslammer, it was John Zapier taking the win over runner-up Peter Lovering.
In only 4 gears, not 5.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
John,
heard. Only
yeah.
one gear on one run.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he had some hurdles that John overcame.
Great to see
over the-
Peter in that car get to the final. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome, seeing that 55 in the final. I love it.
Yeah, it really was a bit of a mix-up.
Yeah.
A mix-up of, not your first bets or your regulars that you would
No, but that's what I love about
expect to see.
track conditions like that.
Yes, exactly.
Because, it allows the guys that don't have the super fast cars, that don't have the mega dollar budgets, don't have all the latest bells and whistles
Yeah.
to have a crack.
Yeah.
We found that when we were racing it. We could go out on a 40-degree day and no one would go down the track, and we weren't running mega times, but we'd go down the track. And if that was race day, maybe they would approach it differently. Who knows?
Yeah.
But you get that bit of
Overpowering the track.
Yeah, you get that bit of a smile on your face going.
But it still allows the master to be the master as well.
Yeah, but you don't know. I mean, in this
Yeah.
case, yes, it proved the point.
Yeah.
But you don't know when we were doing it in qualifying whether those guys would have backed their tune down
Yeah.
to get down the
Yeah.
track.
And there's not many people that have the history of decades of racing.
Michelle, this is going to sound really bad, I guess, but the truth is that there are a lot of people, and I'm not talking about crew chiefs here, I'm talking about mainly car owners, that they've bought a turnkey package or they bought a package from, a US Sky, or they've bought it, whatever. And they're really fast cars and they've got a really good tune-up to go really fast.
Yeah.
But they don't have that depth of knowledge of someone that's, started from scratch, built it, developed it, that can go, well, I mean, the thing that always amazed me when we were touring with Zap, or whenever I've been hanging out with him or whatever, is that you can get that bad track, that really terrible track, right?
Yeah.
And some people would just not go down the track, and then other people will go like a 6.1 or a 6.2. They'll back it down,
Yeah.
and then he'll come out and go like a 5.70, and you go, how is he doing that?
Yeah.
When the best anyone else can go? And I think that's just that depth of knowledge.
It's experience.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the experience for sure.
Yeah.
You can't buy that. It's very hard to learn it from someone else. You got to live it yourself.
I think you also got to be open to learning new things.
Yeah.
I think that if you buy something that's super fast and you got all these gurus advising you, then you're already assuming that, well, I've got the best of the best and I've got the best people working on it. And
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard though. It's hard though because you want to be thinking that, and you want to be having that trust in who you're.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you're coming into it, and if you might quite confidently say, I don't have the knowledge and experience to do this myself and to be giving the instructions to someone else, of course you're going to be outsourcing that role onto someone else. And on top of that, it's very hard. Can you do that when you're a driver as well? Like you're going to have some sort of right-hand man. And so it's just, you just can't always learn all of it. And I just think it's a very unique and special and a situation that John has been racing for so many years. Richard being his crew chief and just you can imagine the discussions being had at the track on race day, but then those discussions are just going to be carrying on like every
Yeah.
time they're speaking. You know, they just lived it completely. So I just think it's unique, and there's no doubt that experience between them is going to be giving them an advantage. So congratulations to John Zapier. In Pro Mod, it was Zoran Gadjic who took the win over runner-up Adam Tassoni. And in Top Fuel Motorcycle, Danny Rickard took the win over Damien Martini. I'm just going to go through the Group 3 and Group 2 sportsman classes. I'll just read out the winners for these categories. So in Junior Drag Bike, it was Kobe Ashelford, WA. In Junior Drag Star, Luca Lamentina. Nice to see him with his gold Christmas tree alongside Phil, both taking the win for the weekend. Luca was actually versing Abigail Reed, who's Daniel Reed's 9-year-old daughter. They had a double breakout.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like,
Big battle.
yeah. In Modified Bike, congratulations to Matt Jones. And in Modified, it was my friend Adriana Cartledge. Congratulations to her. Now, she actually had a faulty ignition box after the second qualifier, so they were chasing around the pits trying to borrow and find a replacement. So I'm glad to see that they got over the line, and to come through with the win at the end of the event is really great. And, you know, I follow her racing, and they did Mildura last month, but then there's just always, I just have to say it, I can't go past it without mentioning, you know, they raced the Sydney Masters Andra event, and once that finished that night, got in the truck.
Yes,
Yeah.
Luke driving the truck, Adriana in the car, and then driving to Willowbank to then race the NDRC event, skipping out on qualifying on Saturday, having one qualifying pass before Willowbank, which then, you know, that's a huge effort. So
It's massive.
Commitment.
seeing that they're
She's
getting,
not long out of juniors either, is she?
well, you know, she tells me about when she was in juniors and used to watch me race, and it makes me feel very old. But she's a mum now, so we're like the same age. So let's just say that. Gets to a point where you just get grouped into an age category
it,
if you've
yeah.
got kids.
Generation.
But she...
All girls
she,
are 21, aren't they?
I don't think she's purposely tries to remind me that she used to watch me race when she was in juniors, and I'm like, okay. Or
Isn't
she'll
that-
tell me about TikTok videos, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about on TikTok.
Isn't that right? All girls are 21,
21, yep.
until they're 60, and then they become 30.
Yes, I actually wrote on my calendar at work. I had to add my birthday to the board, and I wrote Michelle's 21st birthday. We'll see if anyone calls me out. For Supercharged Outlaws, it was Simon Madigan, and for Top Sportsman, Vlado Turic. For Super Street, congratulations to Mark Russo.
Wasn't
Yes.
in the final of Top
Mer-
Sportsman,
Merco.
Marty Merker on debut.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that
debut
is
that
a
new car.
nice looking car.
Beautiful
Very
car,
nice.
isn't
I had to
it?
do a bit of a double take because I didn't know that he was coming out in that new car. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. And to get through to the final.
Yeah.
Amazing. For Super Sedan, Peter Ferlanetto. And sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And for Performance Bike, Ken Collin. And winner for Supercomp, Michael Carosisco. Congratulations to all the winners for the Riverbend Nationals. The next NDRC event is coming up at the beginning of May, which will be the Nitro Champs, being held from the 1st until the 3rd of May.
It's just around the corner.
Just around the corner.
So that's at Sydney?
Sydney.
Yeah, so
Sydney
that's,
Dragway.
Rory was saying he's got to get that motor fixed and service all the bits before then, so they're pretty busy around
Yeah,
there.
that'd be. It's just around the corner.
Yeah.
Did they bring the truck home?
Yes, they did.
Right.
Rory
Wow.
drove it.
Yes, I did know that Rory and Dean were driving, weren't they?
Oh, okay. So they did go 2 up. Yeah.
Now I'm trying to think whether they did, because they actually took the truck from Mildura to the Bend. So
I don't know. It
I'm
should be the
probably getting a
young
bit
guys
lost.
driving it.
I know.
It's not really fair. Kyle, you need to sort that out.
hang on a second, they might like it. They might like it.
Okay.
You were only
They
just
might like
saying,
sleep too.
You were only just saying that you spoke to Rory recently and he is under the pump.
Yeah.
I think a casual drive across the Nullarbor is probably just what someone
Oh.
needs who has a busy schedule that finds it hard to say
reckon
no and
business
turn down
class
your
flight.
customers / friends,
Would be more my
business
style.
class
Yeah,
flight,
business class flight.
and then tell everyone that you're driving back, and so you'll still be unreachable for 3
Get
days.
some sleep on the plane. Anyway, you wanted to talk about the fuel crisis.
No, maybe get into NHRA. while we're
NHRA?
here.
All right,
Yeah,
let's-
fuel crisis is
We'll do that
it's not
later.
important.
$5 a litre.
Is it yet? Not quite.
Not quite.
The Arizona Nationals at Firebird Motorsport Park were ran on the weekend, and the usually hot Arizona round didn't disappoint, with track temperatures approaching 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy, you need to do a conversion there,
That'd be like
because 100
50.
is like our high 30s.
100 is
150?
37.
Yeah.
Their 100
Wow.
is our 37.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. And the team's struggling to get their cars down the track. The heat was so intense, the NHRA made the call to move racing forward an hour to 10 a.m.
You know, that they complained about the heat, but it was only 38 degrees Celsius for most of the event, and the hottest it got was 40 degrees, which is pretty normal for Perth during our racing season. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It sounds extreme when it's written at 150. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean that's hot for track temperature for anyone, but I mean,
But
they
standard
really,
for us in
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They made a big deal about, like Brian Lyons was talking about, and you'll see he's got the cool suit plugged in, and they had these big eskies.
Come on, mate. It's only 4 seconds.
Yeah, I was thinking, mate, I remember when the BA was black and I had my black suit on.
Gosh.
God, black helmet. It was horrible. Anyway.
Oh, dear. Qualifying standout Maddie Gordon putting down a 384 with a 4 on her first lap, and being the only car to make it down the track in Q1. Maddie once again amazing everyone and proving she deserves to be driving a top fueler.
By the time the dust had settled, Sean Langdon from Kalita Racing had the top spot in Top Fuel. Spencer Hyde driving for Jim Head had the top spot in Nitro Funny Car, and Greg Anderson was sitting in pole in Pro Stock.
But along the way, it was Doug Coletta, Dallas Glenn and JR Todd that took home the bonus money and the bonus points of the Too Fast, Too Tasty Missions Food Challenge.
It's worth noting that Austin Prock did qualify, but in 9th position. The team's still struggling to get the car down the track. 9th is still better than the D&Q that happened at the Gators.
Is it worth noting?
Well, I mean, he made a big deal about, like we
Yeah,
you
but
know,
he made a big deal saying that he was going to be winning the next three.
Yeah.
the
But
next
you know
three
what,
events.
Michelle? It's an interesting dynamic right
Has
now.
it humbled him?
No,
Yeah.
No, hasn't it?
Yeah.
no. But it is an interesting dynamic, and I'll explain this to you. In WWE, WWF, there was always a heel, right?
This was on the last episode.
Well, they're trying to do that to him. But
I think he's doing it to himself.
yeah,
I
I
don't
think a
think
lot of people
The
think that.
NHRA.
No, I don't think the NHRA are. I think the other.
Do you think other people have made this?
No. Look, I don't know that he's taken. Brian Loams and Tony Pedregon both said it in the Insider that they don't feel as though he's taking the bait. Now,
Attitude.
I don't think what he did, if all the rumours are true, what the whole family did, because whether John Force, whether you like him or not, he is, arguably the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Right? In drag racing. You know, not just because of what he's achieved, but because of all the people that he's brought up, that he's given opportunities to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Just like now with Vandergrift, before that with Prop, with Tony Pedregon.
Oh, even for Jack Beckman, to bring Jack Beckman back in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I agree with you that he has done this to himself, but
My opinions, and I actually can't think of any. This is very out of character for me to judge on an experience that isn't a direct one that I've had myself.
Yep.
You know, the
you know,
relationship
Michelle,
and the leaving of the team.
I've
that's
known you
one
for a
aspect.
long time, and even when you've had a direct relationship, you're like, oh, well,
nice
you know,
guy.
mate, yeah, he's a nice guy. Maybe,
such a
you know,
top chick.
it's just could have been an accident.
You know what? I just don't need negativity in my life, so everything's sunshine and rainbows. But
This is why this works so
but then
good.
I talk about Austin, and I've got an issue, and I'll always have an issue and angst about people that are very, and how do I say it without saying it? He's not humble to the slightest. He is overly
Confident.
confident that ends up
So is
he's cocky. Can I say that?
Yeah,
He's
you
a
can
he's
say.
a cocky arsehole.
You
Like,
can
can I say that part?
say
but
know,
is
it's-
being at Bob Tasker going to be better for him? That's going to make it worse.
I think that he established his personality.
I think it's going to help him with his cocky assholeness.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's only going to.
I hope that phrase gets used in other things because it's off a movie that I've said that. That's just not two words that I've strung together myself. But
Look.
he's already established his personality.
Yeah.
And I think whoever, you know, that's who Bob Tasker brought across. And you're not going to be then getting to say, gosh darn it, like Maddie Gordon.
She's the
Gosh
best.
darn it. And
She's awesome.
She's the best. That's the polar opposite.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But Anthony Matuk, he coined the phrase "no excuses," and at Pomona, your excuses run out.
Mm.
You've got arguably the best crew chief in the business. You've got one of the best car chiefs in. I mean, he's an engineer. His
worst-
brother is an engineer. He's an actual engineer. So
He
and-
made his bed because he had excuses at the Gator Nationals.
well, he blamed the track.
But then he said, we're going to then get so much better and then we're
Yeah.
going to win the next 3 rounds. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if you wanted to play the safe route of saying, new team, we're merging ideas.
Yeah.
You could have played it safe.
yeah,
But
I mean, I probably would have taken it. Well, you know, karma's got a thing about it, so we're just going to have to ride this storm attitude. That would have been a better way to do it. But
yeah,
anyway,
and then when I stop off at Las Vegas for the strip, I'll just go
I
cash in on all my...
like I said, Pomona's going to be the one
Yeah.
that they surely are going to be able to get it together for Pomona. So let's just wait until after Pomona and
Let's wait and see.
yeah. Anyway,
The race of round 1. Okay, so in Top Fuel, the race of round 1 was the pedal fest between Clay Milliken and Tony Schumacher. Clay leading to 60 foot with Tony striking the tyres. Clay holding out the lead to 660 but managing to snap the throttle cable of one of the pedals and having the best seat in the house to watch Tony drive him around to the stripe. Wow, that's the second event in a row that they've paired up against each other for the first
and had a
round.
pedal fest.
Were they qualified 8th and 9th again?
I don't know. I
That's-
don't know.
yeah. I mean, as teammates, I'm sure our listeners
Yeah,
are following along
Yep.
with Clay Milliken and Tony Schumacher, huge names.
but
the
they
NHRA,
do
but
run them
teammates.
as separate. Like they do run them you know what I mean? There's no team orders.
Yeah, of course. But when
Yeah.
you've got a 16-car field and then it's the second time you've been paired up with your teammate in 2 events.
It's probably
In the
probably
first
is
round.
8 and 9, isn't it? I should have probably anyway.
That's what it was for the meeting before.
In round 2, Josh Hart, driving for John Force Racing, drove into tyre smoke by 300 feet, handing the win over to Lee Pruitt. Matty Gordon defeated Tony Stewart, who started spinning the tyres around 330 foot and dropped a cylinder, ending his weekend.
In the semi-finals, it was Maddie that hazed the tyres, handing the win to Sean Langdon, while the other pairing, Leah Pruitt, was just too fast for Doug Coletta. Doug giving up his start line advantage to the quicker Pruitt, the margin of victory just 19 ten-thousandths of a second, or about 10 inches, that is 25 centimetres.
Yeah, I think that Johnson just went a little bit conservative on that one. When the track's tricky like that, you know, you've got to be able to... Well, you're racing the track, and I think that they just got unlucky on that one. And Leah's crew chief, which is Delago, is it? Can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, I think he just made the better call. In the final, there was nothing in it on the start line. By 64, Sean Langdon had the lead and held on to it all the way to the stripe. 3.87 with a 7 to a 3.93 in Lee's lane. Topping a great weekend for the Coletta Motorsports team.
Nitro Funny Car was a tyre smoking affair, with Blake Alexander the first to hit the tyres, handing the win to a strong running top qualifying Spencer Hyde. Next to see smoke was Dylan Winsfsky, making his second pro appearance, handing the win to Chad Green.
Alexa was next to fall with an uncanny, very red. That was really red, her red
Oh,
line.
yeah, I did see that. It was, yeah.
While her opponent, Jordan Vandergriff, driving for John Force Racing, not only ran a low ET of the round, but dropped an amazing 034 light, also low of the round. That is a killer light.
Yeah, no, but I think he reacted off her movement. Because once she reacts, his car goes...
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, of course.
Because the 60 was still really low. It
Yeah.
was like, because normally if they bump in, as you know, if you
Yeah.
bump in deep, the light will look good, but the 60 will be bad.
Yeah,
But yeah.
because Alexis really, really jumped it, and so I reckon Jordan reacted more off
She
her
didn't
movement.
need to. She had a good car.
I know. I think it was just a slip up in there.
Yeah.
Completely. It's it was completely out of character. So there's got to be more to it than that. Woes continue for the Tascar Proc team. Oh, good. I'm glad we get to highlight this again. With Austin Proc hazing the tyres at half track and handing the win to JR Todd, who was on a hard-to-beat 404 run.
An ecstatic Paul Lee had a win against a tyre-smoking Chad Green, who was the last event's winner. And Matt Hagan got around Jordan Vandergriff in a pedal fest, while the other teams treaded carefully to get down the track.
Ron Capps had a massive explosion about 15 feet before the stripe. His slowing 274 mile per hour, showing it and leaving the crew with a big job, including an engine and body swap before the semi-finals.
So they interviewed his crew chief.
Ron Tobler?
No, Guido.
Oh.
What's his real name? Antonelli.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Anyway, Guido. And he said, it expired. Like he could see exactly when it blew up.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't think it was the tune. I think that there was a mechanical failure, but it was a bad blow up, and they didn't really have time to, pull it apart. And so he was like, I'm confident in what I've done.
Ron's had a few lately.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he had a few? Because
we're only, 3 meetings
He won the
in.
last
Yeah, but he had a big one.
last year.
No, but I feel as if
Last this.
I don't think this year. he's
No,
got
not
one
this
yet.
year. I think this is it. This is the one that you're thinking of. This was a bad one. Remember, it blew the body up and he hit the
Yeah.
wall but it was right.
But he had a couple last year as well.
Yeah. But this season,
Yeah, this season's been the only one.
this
so
is the
far.
one. Spencer Hyde ensured a spot in the finals with a close run against Matt Hagan, while Ron Capps overcame an electrical problem to face off against Paul Lee. Lee deciding to wait for Capps, which is really awesome sportsmanship, I thought, as they had to change the entire magneto system before finding the problem was a crank trigger.
that was really cool, wasn't it? Because Paul Lee did wait, and it was a decent time. And
It was a
the camera
considerable
crew,
amount of time.
yeah, and the camera crew, they followed.
And the drone.
lots-
The
and I
drone was
think-
awesome.
The
Yeah.
drone was.
I think they didn't even warm it up. Caps.
No,
Their
there was no
team
warm
didn't
up.
even have time to warm it up, fire it up, make sure it was going to go. So
they
that was
couldn't get it
surprised
to
see.
start.
Yeah,
That's-
and but Paul Lee was straight out just in saying, there's no victory in winning when it's
Yeah.
a solo.
That's
they want
right.
to be winning it right with someone in the.
Did you see he still had his gloves off when they were starting it?
I couldn't believe it. I said, "Don't tell me he's going to forget to put his gloves on." Is that in-car
Especially
camera?
after that many.
Yeah, that in-car camera. I was like, "Please put your gloves on. Please put your
Yeah,
gloves
yeah.
on." I was like, "Please."
Yeah.
That was really cool to see, and security kind of took him through a bit of a shortcut through to the staging
It
lanes
was a
as
massive
well.
shortcut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're just going to open up this barrier here, and then you could just cut through, and on the other side of that, there you're front of the lanes.
Yeah.
That was like an extra element of entertainment there. Crew Chief Guido Antonelli, confident that the tune-up from the previous round was good and leaving it alone. That decision paid off with Capps laying down a 4-1-2 with a 4 to Lee's 4-2-4-0 to set the final pairing for the finals.
Capps taking the whole shot over Hyde and never looking back as Hyde smoked the tyres around 600 feet, running a slowing 4-3-2 with a 6 to Capps's 4-1-2 with a 4, getting Ronnie's first win of the season and a 75th anniversary Wally to boot.
In Pro Stock, first round shook a few people up with Greg Stanfield, Greg Anderson, Erica Enders, Dallas Glenn and Troy Coughlin Jr., the only drivers dipping into the 6.5s. Troy being on the losing end against teammate Greg Stanfield and Greg Anderson losing on a whole shot to Chris McGahey.
I did mention this was the second time that Cody Anderson went red, really red, like before the tree activated red.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's been copping a bit of shit over that. But, a lot of
A bit of
people
what?
a lot of people are going to understand that this kid is doing all the learning in front of everyone,
Oh, yeah.
whereas most people get to do it at their local,
Yeah.
track event.
He's got big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill. That's, the biggest.
Understated.
The biggest
Yeah.
shoes. In round 2, Chris McGahey fell in a tyre-smoking run to Cody Coughlin and setting the scene for an unusual round of Pro Stock with Erica Enders and Jeg Coughlin battling in a pedal fest more akin to the fuel category, Jeg getting the win.
Dallas Glenn and Greg Stanfield rounded out the 4 winning drivers going to the semis and faced each other with Glenn taking the start line advantage and running low of the round with a 6-6-4 with a 6 to Stanfield's 6-6-8 with a 5.
In the other pairing, Cody Coughlin took out his uncle, leading from the start with an 0.45 to an 0.58 in the other lane. Cody crossing the stripe first with a 6.69 with a 7 to Uncle Jeg's 6.72 with an 8, both at 206 mile an hour.
The final was an all KB Titan affair. You could really see the difference with the setups of the cars. Dallas Glenn left first with an 027 light to Cody's 030. At 60 feet, Glenn was 993 to Cody's 1022. and he held that margin to the stripe with a 6.62 with a 7 at 206 mile per hour to Cody's 6.67 with a 4 at a faster 207 mile per hour.
That run really showcased gear ratio, clutch setting, suspension setting, and timing changes. You could argue Cody's faster speed suggested a little bit more horsepower, but Glenn's quicker time, particularly in the 60, shows better car setup. It's the little things that get you the win.
Always in that 60 feet. The next race is the Lucas Oil's NHRA Winter Nationals, held at In-N-Out Burger Pomona Drag Strip in California, running this weekend from April 9th, tomorrow, until April 12th.
And that is the NHRA.
Home of In-N-Out Burger is California.
In-N-Out. Never had one though, you know.
No, neither.
In-N-Out
have I.
Burger.
No.
No. can't say I have.
I went to one of the burger joints. I can't remember if it was In-N-Out, but they've got, well, you know, this is back then. They had a set menu where you said, like, I'll have a number 2. Or
Yeah.
and it was good. It was a really tasty burger.
So you can't even tell us which one you had. You just said, when you go, order the number 4.
Get them before.
I think they were all good, but you know, I just remember it like, you know, when you're not used to a particular system.
Oh, yeah.
And you kind of like, well,
Yeah, I just freeze. And I'm like, oh.
all right, the fuel crisis, Nick.
Well, look, I mean, I thought I would put this out there. I know.
Have you heard the latest news?
It may alleviate it overnight or during today. That there's a ceasefire.
Yeah, so they sent Trump their 10 points that they want, and he has agreed to a 2-week ceasefire. That's seen the barrel price plummet.
Yeah, go under 100.
I
But
just filled up today because I saw a headline last night saying fill up now. It might be
still
the
be
cheapest.
months before we see that.
yeah, and the reality is that we will not see prices go back to pre-war for probably 1.5 to 2 years.
Mm.
Right? And that's because they've destroyed a lot of infrastructure, and that needs to be rebuilt now. Right now, so the bigger picture is, you know, when Trump got in, a lot of us rev heads were like, yeah, Trump, yeah, burn fuel, you know, drill, baby, drill. But now the reality of this has kind of changed perspective. And the thing that I've been saying is, how does he not lose the midterms now? And if he loses the midterms,
sure.
then he's going to get impeached. So I've heard a rumour that what's going to happen is they're going to force him to retire, I guess, quit, whatever. Step down, and JD Vance is going to take over. JD Vance is going to get peace with Iran and a few other people, and that'll put him in a better position.
Not Mark Rubio.
Oh, he's awesome. Hey,
I love Mark Rubio.
They just, you know, hammered him for so long. So many commentators just spoke so badly.
Well, so did Trump.
Yes, he did. He did. He did. And he
Little
said,
Marco, he called him.
yeah, there was a bunch of times when he said, well, you know, if the deal doesn't go through, it's Rubio's fault, you know, like sort of, you know, lumbering him with this task of whatever it was at the
Being
time.
the fall goat.
Yeah, straight up. I think he's great,
Yeah,
but
I don't mind him.
I don't mind JD Vance either. He's the only thing that I don't like about JD Vance is he's a puppet for Peter Thiel, and that guy, I don't, you know, all the technocrats, they're all dodgy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, there's the amount of surveillance that we've got now. I mean, I don't know if you guys have sort of noticed how many cameras there are now.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
and now apparently the those door cams that everyone's. I mean, we've got one.
Oh, you
know?
can. There was a company that got in trouble because they were collecting They were able to access all of that camera footage.
How do you know they're not?
Yeah.
It's impossible
There
to
was
stop.
there was actually someone who tried to, had a camera, had a camera on his robot vacuum, and he tried to do something to change his own, and his only motive was to do it for his own. I think he was wanting just to like keep an eye on his pets or something like that. But he kind of got into the internal systems of it all. Next thing you know, he has access to all the floor plans and camera footage of all of the devices. And he's no big
Yeah.
IT background. He was just like, I've just stumbled across all of this.
Yeah.
You've got the whole house plan of how the robot vac scans it all, and he can see inside everyone's houses. And yeah, knowing that kind of information is that easily accessible when someone has stumbled into it unintentionally with no IT skill and background, of
Yeah, it's
course, it's
crazy.
being able to be
It's crazy.
accessed by higher bodies.
So in the short term, and you may have seen this, the trucking companies have introduced a levy.
Yeah.
So
Goes up about 5% each week.
yeah. So the dirt companies have put a 10% levy on the product and a 15% levy on the delivery charges.
Yeah.
So
We're at 25% on delivery at the moment. So
25.
Yeah, I won't say the name of the company, but yeah, 25.
Yeah, well, we got a letter from, we use Australia Post. We got a letter from them saying that it's going up.
This is a tilt tray company, local tilt tray company, but anyway, yeah. But it
Just
is what it
complete
is.
knock-on
But
effect.
the reason why I wanted to bring up the fuel crisis was, do you think, maybe not now, but do you think that this was going to put pressure on motorsports? We heard the address from Anthony Albanese during the week. Like do you think there was like a pressure, a perceived pressure
Yes.
on motorsports to basically
Even seeing the outside comments on social media when all the social media marketing was on for Riverbend, and outside comments saying, shouldn't we be saving our fuel for more
Yeah.
important things? When
what
there's
you're
a bit of the, we're not running we don't run race fuel in our cars.
Yeah.
It's in that.
what you're seeing there is
Yeah.
bots. That's a bot farm attacking, and it's exactly the same as. And you look, I got to admit, someone out there controlling these bots has got a really good sense of humour, because Rita Costolotti is pretty funny. I thought that was anyway, and obviously Roger Crook. So it's the same stuff
okay.
that we've seen on the Motorplex. When they did that press release saying that they're going ahead with the East Side contract, East Side concrete contract. That there was a lot of bots involved in attacking that on social media, and this is the same thing. It's not about attacking, although it appears to be attacking motorsport.
Yeah.
It's about deflecting, people to go and have an argument about this rather than the real argument. So I'll tell you what's really happening, right? If the war was to continue, and just because there's a ceasefire and there appears to be an agreement, and we've seen the oil go down, we don't really know for sure that it's over, right? So if you listen to a lot of podcasts, you would have heard the ads saying that mining pays for Medicare.
oh, don't start me on that commercial.
No, but I'm just saying,
Don't start me on
right?
that one.
There is a reason why these
God,
ads
I hate that commercial.
have been pumping right now, right? And I'll explain this to you. So first of all, let's separate fact from fiction, okay? 50% of the government's tax revenue comes from the 14.7 million working Australians in their income tax. So our income tax is half of the tax that the government collects, half of it, which is crazy when you think about the profits that these companies make, right? Okay, so mining income tax, mining company tax, right, is only 5% of the total tax revenue. So the they pay for Medicare is just a flat out lie. So why would they be spending millions of dollars to get into podcasts, to get into radio, TV? Well, the reason is because if the war continues and we run out of fuel, the diesel will be diverted from the Bowser to the mining companies.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
Which is dumb. The farmers should get the fuel first.
Yeah.
Right? And they should be getting subsidised. The reason is because we all eat food. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? The government should be subsidising them to make sure that they can get through this period so that we don't have some, crazy shortage of food. Yeah. If Albanese was serious about fixing the problem, he would do two very, very simple things. Now, he would argue that it's not that simple. That guy's not a politician. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But unfortunately for him, other countries have done this. So it is, you nationalise the oil. We've got enough oil in Australia. We pump enough oil out to supply all of the Australian needs for oil, right? People don't realise this, but we have oil in the Northern Territory and we have oil in the Great Australian Bight, right? So you nationalise oil. So now that oil is Australian and you can negotiate whatever deal for the companies that are currently pumping it out, but that oil's for us now, right? We'll still pay you for it, but it's coming to us. Yeah. And you put a bit of money into getting the refineries going again. And then we're self-sufficient. We don't need, you want to block the strait, block the strait. Do whatever you want. Whatever goes on in the Middle East has no effect on us, right? But they won't do that because they won't even let Victorians use their own gas. Victorian gas is exported, right? They've told the Victorians, we don't have enough gas and we're trying to save the climate. It's illegal for you to have gas fittings in your house now. That's just dumb, right? Yeah. Australia is less than 1% of global emissions, okay? We shouldn't be doing this to our own people. It is, it's no different than going after, SAS soldiers and putting extra gun shots into ABC footage to win a prize, that you somehow prove that they were doing something wrong when it was all fake footage. Yeah. It's true.
Thank God that came out.
About the fake footage. Yeah, but he did anything happen to Willisey?
No, nothing.
And now,
but it did come out.
If you Google anything to do with that, if you do any research into it, you'll be told that Willisey didn't even select that piece of footage. Right? He had nothing to do with it. He was in Queensland. That was done by someone in New South Wales. Who was it done by? Oh, it was someone. They don't work for the ABC anymore. We don't know who it was. Yeah. It's just rubbish. Anyway,
I think...
Get off my soapbox.
Look, there's certainly a lot going on and a lot of the information is unknown to public. You can find it, but I think the outside perspective and is it having an effect and will it have an effect on motorsport? It already is. As much as the bots might be shining the light, it's actually starting the conversation. The taxi that I had in Adelaide, and they asked straight away when I said I was there for the drags, and is that still all running with the fuel shortage? The teams' travelling commitments and the cost that it's putting onto them, that's going to take its toll. That's having an effect.
Yeah.
The Kenda 660 event that was to be held at Dragway at the Bend, that's been cancelled because Kenda came out saying that considerations in mind for teams travelling with the rising fuel prices, it's having an effect on it.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, it's having the fear mongering in itself is having an effect.
Yeah, but it's, if you look at our sport, I'm not talking about Formula One or any of the other, just our sport. The average team right, that's running in your class, Super Street, any of those sorts of teams, they're going to use 20, 40 litres of fuel in a whole weekend.
Can I put methanol in my extra? Look, I know that you say the average, but then my mind goes straight to Fiona Crisp. She's from Sydney.
Yeah.
She was racing Adelaide. She's Adelaide for last
No, I
weekend.
meant in the car.
Then Mildura.
I didn't mean to
Back
get
to
there.
Adelaide for Andra. You know, I know the outside perspective is thinking what's in the car, and one of the, whether it was a bot or whether it was an actual human, that it was one of the Phil Reed educational videos on how much fuel goes through a top fuel engine, and then they're like, hey, save it for our cars, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not the same.
Well,
but
that's I mean, for
I know
starters,
it's not the same, but it's just the
uneducated-
perception.
Yeah.
Perception.
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, it's not actually a fuel; it's a glue.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the the perception might be inaccurate, but it is having an effect in other means.
But it's just to deflect the fact that when Liberal was in government, Labor made a big deal about this fuel reserves, right? They said, this is ridiculous. We should have more than 30 days of fuel, blah, 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 right? But they had 4 years and they did nothing about it. And now that they're being ridiculed, he you know, he's like saying, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Well, hang on a minute. You're paying people to go after motorsports and all this stuff and encourage, you know, electric vehicles and so on and so forth. And you don't want to take the fuel excise off. You've taken half of it off. You haven't put any sort of kilometre charge on the EVs. They're using the road as well. The fuel excise is supposed to pay for the roads. You're not helping the situation, and you're avoiding doing the right thing, just like the housing policy. You're avoiding making foreign ownership illegal and freeing up 1 million houses. You're avoiding making corporate ownership illegal and freeing up 1 million houses. The politicians are not about doing the right thing. Unfortunately, they do not work for us.
Yep.
They work for their donors, and that's just wrong. That's a big problem in this country. And, you know, look, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, if this does work itself out, then, you know, a couple of years' time, things should be back to normal. If it doesn't work itself out, we're back to my prediction of $5 a litre.
Yeah.
Well, 2 week ceasefire, and in 2 weeks we will be back with another episode. But
Yes, we
I
will.
think we've run out of time for now, guys. I tell you what, coming back for the next episode, I have to give you all the update because I've since started a new job and I'm very excited to talk about it and tell you all about my new role as communications manager for the WA Sporting Car Club and Wanneroo Raceway.
And a big congratulations
Yes,
on
yeah.
that. That's awesome
Thank
achievement,
you.
and we're really proud of you.
Thank you so much. I'm
really are.
1 month into the role, and particularly in motorsports, I just think it is really rare to be able to combine passion and profession. And I just I love it. It's
You just need to get him to build a drag strip at Wanneroo now.
You know, I can't go in too hard too fast. No, but there is so much. I've learnt so much about the WA Sporting Car Club's history and learning so much about Wanneroo Raceway in itself and being able to envision. You guys know by now how my mind works, and I've got to work slowly but surely, but under really good guidance.
Have they got the big M's up yet?
There is a huge Motormall LED sign that would challenge the Perth Red Bull Racing sign that was on Kings Park. It's LED. It lights up. It is. You surely would have seen it at roll racing.
No. The last time I went, it wasn't up yet.
Oh.
There was some framework up.
Okay.
And it looked like it was going to be huge.
It's huge. It's huge.
You'll have to get us a photo.
Yeah, of course. Get you one tomorrow.
I think Wanneroo Raceway is the second in history for the Australian Touring Car Championship, which morphed into supercars, which morphed into what we have now. It's second to Bathurst in terms of history.
Yeah.
Been racing there since 72. I've always said it's so rich in history there.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you're really happy for you.
And it's,
learning about it all in myself, knowing that the raceway itself has been completely club funded is just astronomical. It's amazing to see that the investment that's been put in by their members, for the future and their involvement in racing, it's amazing.
And it's great that Motormore's involved. That those guys bring a lot of character and a lot of fun.
They do.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. But I'll have to fill you in more on my role in itself and tell you about some exciting things that we've got going on, and then maybe one day I can get Mackenzie, our event coordinator, or Russell Avis, the general manager, in for a chat as well.
Maybe we can do it there.
Yeah.
Come and see the
that'd be
sign
cool.
for yourself, Simon.
Yeah, we'll do a recording there.
Yeah, we'll do a little video tour.
Looking forward to that.
Fabulous. No worries. Well, for now, we will say goodbye. Thank you, Simon and Nick.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Simon.
And we'll be back recording in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks' time. Can't wait.
Fabulous. Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.